Today, the man accused of killing 2 girls in Delphi returned to court.
And the judge refused to let the attorneys Richard Allen wants to work with take his case. So today's hearing really changes the course of all of this.
And we're going to break down what happened, the impact, and what questions remain. And there are a lot of questions that remain. We start with our Samantha Johnson, who was in the Carroll County courtroom this morning.
Today's hearing started about 45 minutes late, with the judge addressing both the prosecution and the new attorneys appointed to represent Richard Allen before addressing his original defense team, who was seated right next to him in court. We were inside the courtroom too, and I can tell you that's when the judge said to Allen's original attorneys, "You chose to withdraw," referring to that hearing back on October 19th. She asked what changed in 12 days. Attorney Brad Rosie responded by saying, "You left us with no choice." He went on to say it would be inappropriate for the court to interfere with their decision to transfer from a public defender to private counsel, which Rosie says they're willing to do pro bono. Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland telling the judge the state's concern is that both sides get a fair trial in all of this. That's when Judge Gull addressed Allen directly, saying, "I have grave concerns about their representation. You are entitled to a vigorous defense." She called her decision today difficult, adding, "I cannot allow these attorneys to represent you. I cannot do it, sir. I just can't." So Judge Gull ended today's hearing by asking the original defense team to cooperate with the new attorneys in this case. And at the very end of today's hearing, we heard attorney Andrew Baldwin address Richard Allen's wife directly. He said, "It ain't over. The world is watching. The world sees what's going on." Of course, in the coming months, we do expect more hearings. Of course, we'll keep you updated as we learn more. As of right now, a new trial date set for October 15th of next year. In Delphi, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
Okay, Sam, thank you so much. And we are joined now by Katie Jackson Lindsay, who's a defense attorney and former prosecutor and has been following this case for us. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, lending your expertise to this. So let's jump right in. Does Judge Gull actually have the authority to go against Richard Allen's wishes to have his Baldwin and Rosie as his defense team, which has been his defense team for the last year?
Yes. So as a presiding trial judge, she does have the authority to issue an order disqualifying an attorney from representation in her court only for a case that is pending in her court only if she finds that those attorneys or that attorney has in some way violated the rules of professional conduct.
So what recourse does Richard Allen have now that, you know, this latest ruling has taken place? What recourse does he have to get the attorneys that he wants? Because he's indicated reportedly that he does still wish to have his original attorneys.
Well, if the judge does actually issue an order, it's not clear at this point from the chronological case summary that there has been an actual order entered into the case disqualifying them. But just like any other order that a court issues, Mr. Allen can ask that a higher court come down and review that ruling. What that's called is a petition for interlocutory appeal. So he would request that Judge Gull certify that particular issue, and if she agrees to do that, because that is completely discretionary, then a higher court, our Court of Appeals, would review that decision to determine if the decision that she made was the right decision.
This is a lot just watching this, but for him, Richard Allen, as you can imagine, he's been working closely with these people for the last year. So if he does not agree to go with the judge's decision, then what would happen?
Well, I think if he agrees that these attorneys are disqualified and they should be, he could move on, right? And we wouldn't hear anything else. If he does not agree, then he should take advantage of that process that I just described, and that is asking a higher court to come down and review that decision.
Which sounds like more time.
Yeah. How do these moves heighten the likelihood of an appeal, a successful appeal, if Richard Allen is eventually convicted?
Well, there's that two-part appeal, right? So all criminal defendants have the opportunity to have orders reviewed and issues reviewed in the middle of their case. That's an interlocutory appeal. I think it's highly likely that we could see something like that happen. And then there's that appeal upon final disposition if he's convicted. And I think based on all of the pleadings that have been filed and everything that's been before us so far, I think if there is a conviction, an appeal is a given here.
It is just very layered. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and it just seems to be getting
Well,
more convoluted.
And meanwhile, the families of these two girls are going to wait another year. All right.
Potentially, yeah.
Katie, Jackson, Lindsay, thank you so much. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
we'll be talking again soon. And we have been closely following all the legal twists and turns in this case over the last couple of weeks and months. You can find all of our detailed reports and analysis right now online. We've got it at WTHR.com/Delphi.